Hi, Barbara. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, and paranormal investigator. It's Casual Friday. It got cold here. And the grandsons are home from school today. Yikes. Anyway, still got work to do. So, we're going to talk to your sister Vicky. Excuse me, my nose is itching. So, whenever anything like that happens, especially as soon as I start a reading, you're going to feel her tickle your nose, and it's tickling me kind of the nostril. And I mean, that's kind of a normal thing, but when it happens in a reading, that's a sign that that's something she's going to do to you. So when your nose starts itching around here, around the knot, like especially down here, if you have a cold, that's one thing, but if not, that's her. And it's still doing it like over here. So that's a little bit ornery to do. So is that something your sister would do? Okay, let's talk to your sister and see what she's got to say. Uh, don't forget, this is not an exact science. So, yeah, they just tell me what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. Always, it's not always what you want to hear. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. So, anyway, something else is happening. You probably can't hear it from here, but my phone is going off in the other end of the room and it's singing Beautiful Crazy. She can't help but amaze me. And whenever that happens, that's for you. That's for you from your sister. So she says you're a little crazy, but it's beautiful crazy. Can't help but amaze me. So it's really cool the way they make some of these things happen. It's not a coincidence. So give me just a second. She's looking. She's kind of hanging her head. She's looking a little sad. And they're not really sad up there. So we'll have to see why she's doing this. She says you feel a little sad. You feel a little lost. You feel some guilt from her passing. You feel like you could have done more. And then all of a sudden she pops up and she goes, I am just fine. She said, it's okay. I'm fine. I'm more fine than I was. It's she says you've got a little guilt from her passing. You need to let that go. You need to let that go. She loves having you in her home. She loves having you in her home. Sorry, things are popping up, distracting me. Anyway, sorry about that. She she says you are a perfect fit for her home. You smell her. You smell her. There was some smell about her. And I'm not talking about body odor. There was some smell about her. Maybe it's something she wore. It might have just been her essence. Whatever that distinct smell is that makes you think of her, that's her letting you know that she's there. That's her. That's a sign from her. She's talking about spaghetti, a big pot of spaghetti. So you've either recently cooked spaghetti, or that's something that she liked to cook, or she loved spaghetti, or something along that line. and sitting on the couch with a whole bag of cookies. And they look like chocolate chip, but it doesn't have to be chocolate chip. It's just the type that she's showing me. Maybe that was her favorite. I don't know, but it's like she's got one of those little bags. Well, I don't know, that kind of looked like a big bag the way I did that. Like one of them, like a bag of cookies, and she's got them open, and they're on her lap, and she just and watching TV, kind of aimlessly eating. And she still does that. And you're going to find some crumbs. You're gonna you're gonna find some crumbs where there shouldn't be crumbs. She's gonna leave a little trail of crumbs around, and you're gonna wonder how they got there. That's cute. I've not seen that before. She wants you to be happy. She truly wants you to be happy. Either you or somebody or her or somebody very, very close to you just had a birthday or just getting ready to have a birthday, just right about now. She's acknowledging that. She says when she left here, I don't know if you were sitting there when she left. Even if you weren't, I don't know that she's physically showing me you sitting there. Even if you weren't physically sitting there, she knew you were there in spirit, in your own spirit, in your own heart. She knew you were there. She showed me she was not scared. At that point, she started hearing the beautiful music. Now, I've heard the music a couple of times. They've given me just a little taste of it because I do work with angels and archangels. And I can't even describe this music. It's nothing like we have here. It is so beautiful. It is so loving. It's just got this loving energy that kind of wraps you up. It's gorgeous. And she heard that, and it's like she was so full of love and peace. And then an angel walked down a path towards her. There's also a man. There's also a man who walked towards her. Dang, I really can't see him. And usually that means they don't want to show themselves. Not that they don't want to, but it's not necessary for them to show themselves. He's dressed up in a suit with a hat, which a lot of them have done lately. They're dressed up like going to church, business type suit, but he looks very short, like really short. Can't tell for sure because he's got the hat on. I almost want to say he's bald, but I can't tell that for sure. But she knows him. She knew him. Excuse me, it's somebody you guys know. Anyway, he walked down there with the angel. She was very happy to see him. He doesn't really feel like a grandpa. It could be, but I don't get that feeling. Anyway, there was also somebody who feels like an aunt. Could be your aunt or it could be your parents' aunt. I know that's kind of stretching it out of the box a little too far. I feel more like would be her aunt that stepped forward too. And that's what happens when it's time. Our loved ones step forward. And you might have even heard her talking about them. right before she left, because you start seeing them if you go to a nursing home and um, they start talking about their loved ones, they see them in the corner. A lot of times they're they're there to get them. They're there to let them know it's okay. It's time to go with them. She said that she's perfectly at peace with the things that you did for her. She says the material things don't mean shit to her anymore. That she's at peace with anything that you have of hers. And she says you really feel guilty about some of the stuff that you have, that you didn't give her enough time of yourself. And she said that's not the case. You need to let that go. She wants to wrap her arms around you, and you may feel that. You may feel somebody give you a hug, but it's more like from the back than the front. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. Maybe, yeah, it's from the front. And you may actually feel like somebody's giving you a hug, and that it could give you goosebumps, and it could make you feel real warm where she's up against you, and especially where she wraps her arms around you, because that's what's really going to be holding you tight. It's not like a bear hug, but it's like a soft, loving hug. She says, "Know that I love you. I can hear you," and I stress this in all my readings because they always say this. They can hear you, they can see you. You just can't hear and see them, and that's okay. She's letting me be her voice right now. Something about a dog left behind. There's a dog left behind. Is there somebody with the nickname Happy? She's saying something about happy, but I don't feel like it's like, well, she wants you to be happy, but I don't feel like that's what she's talking about. I feel like she's calling somebody happy, like by a name. So I stink at names. I have to stretch that out of the box. Um, and a Harold. So Happy and a Harold, and that's at least a male with an H or an HA name. May not be the exact one. She said she always felt a little sad inside, and she always looked up to you. But you always seem to be put together compared to what she felt about herself. And she admired you for it. She said you were the strong one. I was the grumpy one. It's like she tried to sit in a corner and like melt into the wall um, somewhere because she felt invisible, or she wanted to be invisible. Maybe that was it. Didn't feel good enough. She says, that's okay. That's not your deal. That's my deal. And I'm going to work on that. And we do work on lessons once we leave. There are things that we still keep learning, just like we learn things here. Actually, our lessons are faster here because we have all those things that kick us in the ass and make us learn them. Up there, it's all love and light. She's very happy. She's very mellow. She's very soft. Okay, she's showing that she's going to sit beside you, and she's going to cock her head over and lean it up against your head. So I'm not sure which side of your head, but like right in here is where she's showing, where she's going to have her head laid up against you, kind of leaning on you. Like she says, I've always leaned on you. So it's not going to feel like a hard head there, but it'll feel like a pressure. And it shouldn't be like a headache pressure, but it'll feel like a pressure. Or when they get close, they make my head itch, like I have head lice. It's their energy. She says I like still being at home. So she's there. She's there in your house a lot. She doesn't have to stay there. She's not trapped there. Some people get that idea. Nope, she's not trapped. She can go anywhere she wants. She's comfy. She says she made room for you, and she loves you very much. She says again, no regrets. I don't have any. You shouldn't. She goes, let the regrets die with me because I don't have any. And I can handle my own shit, she said. Okay, now she jumps up and she's kind of dancing around in a circle. Fly landed on me. She's dancing around in a circle. She's got her arms up. She's excited. She's leaving. She wants you to see how happy and healthy she is and feels good and feels soft and feels safe and feels what's the word I want to use? Confident in herself. She says finally. Okay, my dear. Much love to you. That's her little message for you. Rhonda Constant, your favorite hometown medium, physical energy healer, oracle card advisor, and paranormal investigator. Thank you for letting me be the voice of your loved one. She feels very soft and mellow and good.